Why is hair so complicated? And why are there so many contradicting views on YouTube? It's actually quite simple when you look at the research. And in this video, I'm gonna be giving you 5 ways you're probably damaging your hair without even realizing it. Let's get into it. What's up guys, Trav White here. Welcome back to the channel. If you want the best evidence-based hair, grooming, and style content on the internet, please smash that like and subscribe button. Also, studies show the harder you smash that thumbs up button, the more attractive you become. I wouldn't argue with science. All right, let's jump into the mistakes. Mistake number 1 is, believe it or not, wetting your hair daily. I've had many people ask me, they say, since you say don't shampoo daily, is it okay if I rinse daily with water? Because I sweat a lot and I work out every day. And at the risk of sounding like a hair Nazi, I usually say, sure, go ahead. But in reality, it's actually not the best thing for your hair. So let me explain. Wetting your hair causes cortex swelling. And when the cortex swells, protein loss occurs temporarily while the cuticle scales are raised. This is fine when you shampoo 1 to 2 times a week because you're cleaning your hair and getting all the dirt and oil buildup out, so the trade-off is actually worth it. But when your hair swells and contracts on a daily basis, you can suffer from something called hygral fatigue. And hygral fatigue occurs from the repeated swelling and deswelling of the cortex. And water is one of the most common causes of cortex swelling. So over time, this stresses the hair and makes it more susceptible to breakage. Some early signs of hygral fatigue are things like over-frizzing, your curls not curling, your hair is flat, it doesn't have any volume, and in extreme cases, it can cause breakage. So one study I found in the Journal of Cosmetic Science shows that coconut oil, again, the magic of coconut oil, helps prevent hygral fatigue. So this study was comparing coconut oil to mineral oil on which penetrated the hair shaft better, but they ended up finding it also helped prevent hygral fatigue. This is what the study says, and I'm quoting. This study also indicates that the swelling of hair is limited by the presence of coconut oil. Since the process of swelling and deswelling of hair is one of the causes of hair damage by hygral fatigue, coconut oil, which is a better penetrant than mineral oil, may provide better protection from damage by hygral fatigue. And look, I get it. I work out 5 times per week. I live in Austin, Texas. It's really hot here and I sweat a lot, but I only wash my hair 1 time a week. And if you want to know the best process for keeping your hair fresh without having to shampoo or even getting it wet daily when you work out a lot, go check out my previous video. I went all into my whole process of keeping your hair fresh when you sweat. So go check that out. I'll link to it in the description. Number 2 is washing your hair incorrectly. Believe it or not, most guys wash their hair wrong. Especially as men grow their hair out, they tend to do the same thing that they would do when they had shorter hair, which is to lather it up and scrub the crap out of their head. And one thing I'll say is that suds and soap and shampoo are not an indication of the shampoo cleaning your hair. It's just like a visual peace of mind thing that makes people feel like it's working. And in fact, the lathers are usually made from sulfates, and some sulfates can potentially damage your hair. I'll get more on that in tip number 5. Going back to this tip, you want to use lukewarm water. You want to scrub gently and only on the scalp with shampoo. If you have long hair, you don't need to scrub all the way down to the ends. It could dry it out a little bit too much. The majority of the oil buildup and dirt is on the scalp. And so when you rinse the shampoo out of your hair, it'll pick up the remaining oil on the way down. After shampooing, you want to wring your hair out and remove that excess water in the shower. And you do this because you want your conditioner to be able to penetrate the hair shaft, and too much water on your hair could prevent that. So be sure to wring your hair out before moving on to conditioner. Now, when you condition, you only want to condition the hair shaft. You don't want to scrub conditioner into your scalp. After you lather the conditioner on, you want to let it sit for 5 minutes. I usually wrap my hair up into a bun and then I'll proceed to wash my body while the conditioner sits on my hair for about 5 minutes. And then rinse it out and then you're done. So just to reiterate, lukewarm water, gentle scrub on the scalp with shampoo, wring out your hair, condition on the hair shaft, not the roots. Let it sit for 5 minutes and then rinse it out. This is the non-damaging way to wash your hair correctly. Number 3 is actually drying your hair incorrectly. And this is the most common way I see guys damage their hair. And believe it or not, air drying is the worst way to let your hair dry. I know that goes against everything people see on YouTube, but it actually is, and I have the study to prove it. It damages the cortex more than blow drying does. So this study from Yonsei University's Institute of Hair and Cosmetic Medicine found that air drying damaged the cortex the most because your hair hair stays swollen, the cortex stays swollen for much longer, resulting in more protein loss. The study also found that blow drying only damaged the cuticle, which is that outer protective layer, and not the cortex. However, as the heat increased and the distance the blow dryer was from your hair decreased, the damage to the cuticle got worse. So the best way to use a blow dryer is on the lowest heat setting, 6 inches away from your hair and constantly moving. Now, additionally, most men tend to take a rough towel and they dry the crap out of their hair with the same intensity that they washed it with, and that can cause friction, which causes breakage as well. So the best way to dry your hair is to wring it out in the shower, then gently wrap your hair in a soft towel immediately after the shower to absorb the majority of that water. Then you want to blow dry it on the lowest heat setting, 6 inches away from your hair, and move it around constantly. That's the best way to dry your hair with the least amount of damage. Now, number 4 mistake is UV damage. Yeah, the sun is one of the worst things for your hair. So in October of 2008, a study was done in Croatia at the University Hospital's Department of Dermatology and Venerology. So the study found, and I'm quoting here, excessive sun exposure is the most frequent cause of hair shaft structural impairment. Photochemical impairment of the hair includes degradation and loss of hair protein, as well as degradation of hair pigment. So protecting the cuticle is very important for keeping the hair shaft's integrity. And one can achieve that by avoiding harmful impact with the sun or by implementation of hair care products with UV filters. So you might be asking, what are some hair care products with UV filters? I am so glad you asked, because whenever I can bring out more science, I will. So in January of 2010 at the Institute of Pharmacy at Cuticle University in India, they conducted a study on the UV protection, excuse me, my nose itched, on the UV protection qualities of hair oils. The study said the SPF value of olive oil was found to have the highest SPF value among carrier oils, and among essential oils, the SPF value of peppermint oil was found to be the highest. Before you go to the beach this summer, it can be really helpful to take a tiny bit of olive oil, drop some peppermint oil in there, and apply it to your hair from the roots to the shaft and use it as a sunscreen for your hair. So, mistake number 5 is using the wrong shampoo, and this is shampoo that contains sulfates. So a common sulfate found in shampoos to give it that lather and those suds that everyone loves is called sodium dodecyl. So I think it's called that. Sodium dodecyl sulfate. Let's just call it SDS. So in March of 2005, a study was done in Brazil at a university. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce the name of this university because I would miserably fail. But the study found that under friction, hair treated with SDS solution loses 7 times more protein than just using water. And protein loss increased as the temperature of the water increased as well. It's also possible for protein loss from excessive exposure to sulfates to weaken your hair, making breakage more likely over time. There was another study done in 1996 in Italy at the University of Modena's Department of Dermatology. And this found another common sulfate used as a lather in shampoo. And this one is sodium lauryl sulfate, which we'll just call it SLS. It found it to cause skin irritation in some individuals that are low in ceramides, which is like a protective wax on your skin. So too much scalp irritation can damage your hair and cause it to prematurely fall out. You could temporarily lose hair as a result of scalp irritation, but not everyone's skin is affected by SLS. It's only the ones who are low in ceramides. So if you're getting irritation on your scalp after washing, check to see if your shampoo has sodium lauryl sulfate in it. My favorite personal sulfate-free shampoo is the Tea Tree shampoo from Beard Brand. And it's weird because it doesn't sud at all, and my hair feels like it's not cleaning it. But I know that that's a myth and that it's actually still cleaning my hair. So that's it, guys. And those are all 5 mistakes. Let me know down in the comments if any of these changed your mind on anything, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. What are some hair care products with UV filters?